This is a film from another female director, Denise Denovi, who for a very long time was a busy producer. She worked with Tim Burton in the olden days. More recently, she's been on the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants films. Crazy Stupid Love was her as well. Back in 2014, this film, which is a kind of, you describe it as a domestic thriller in the style of Fatal Attraction or Disclosure or The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, she was producing it, and it was going to be directed by Ama Asante. And for whatever reason, the production fell apart. And then rather than them finding another director, Denise Denovi stepped in. And, as a long-serving producer, this was going to be her first film in the director's chair. It stars Katherine Heigl and Rosario Dawson. You have Rosario Dawson playing this quite trendy, kooky Silicon Valley tech social media publishing person who leaves her old life behind and drives south to California, where she is going to live with her fiancé and his fiancé's daughter from their previous marriage. However, his ex-wife, who's played by Katherine Heigl, is still on the scene and jealous of this new relationship, and decides, because this is the kind of person that she is, that she's going to sabotage it. And the sabotage begins at a very low, subtle, gaslighty ebb. And here's a clip of them in action.
Can I confess something?
Sure, yes.
I was really very scared to meet you.
Me.
Yes, it's intimidating. You're gorgeous and talented and effortlessly beautiful.
Thank you. That's very lovely of you to say. And I was terrified to meet you.
You're gonna do great here. And your connection with David, you talk, you laugh.
Wait, you didn't?
Not really. But ours was a more physical thing. We always had incredible chemistry. David was insatiable. It eclipsed everything. Frankly, it was a little exhausting. A different position every night. But I'm sure I don't have to tell you how he is.
Yeah, he's amazing.
There was a time when I thought we were on the road to getting back together. We even went to therapy. But then he met you.
So there she is, sowing the seeds of doubt and uncertainty and so on. And then, of course, it blows up very much from there. I think, casting-wise, this is a film that's been approached quite sharply. Katherine Heigl, who, of course, her breakout role was in Knocked Up a very long time ago, she then became this sort of symbol of everything that was wrong with romantic comedies. But when you go back and watch those films like The Ugly Truth that she did with Gerard Butler, they're films in which the lead is required to be unaffected and disarming, and that's just not Katherine Heigl. I've seen her as affected and arming. I mean, it's like the complete opposite of that. And it's this kind of role where you can use those sort of natural, the kind of way in which an actress will carry themselves, will deliver a line. It's those kind of talents you can use really well in a domestic thriller like this. The premise of it, I think, sounds trashy in the extreme. In practice, it's nowhere near trashy enough. Her character is referred to as a psycho Barbie in one scene. And if the film ever lived up to that insult, then I think it would be much more fun than it is. There's nothing like in, say, Fatal Attraction. It's difficult to maneuver around those films when you're talking about anything in this genre. But the scene in which Anne Archer walks into, the pot's bubbling away on the stove, and what's inside? Let me walk very slowly across the kitchen. And then this is intercut with the shot of the kid running towards the rabbit's hutch. And there's that sickening lightning strike of realization where you work out what's going on here. There is no set piece in this film that comes remotely close to having the impact of that. What is happening is nasty and it's sadistic and it's manipulative, but it's not memorably so. And when it comes down to this showdown at the end, which involves the film's one kind of memorable piece of costume design, this really swishy evening gown and a big long silver blade that, it's all getting very exciting and headed up. You wish it had hit that register of hysteria an hour ago and built and built and built from there. These films, they should make you gasp and laugh and shake with shock. I remember interviewing David Fincher after he brought out Gone Girl, and he asked me because I went to an early screening of it, and he asked me, were people laughing in the cinema? And I thought, well, what's the right answer to this? Because David Fincher, famously, strident character, asking if people were laughing at his film. So, well, I'll just be honest. Yeah, there was laughter in the cinema, and he was delighted because these films should appall you and they should be ludicrous. They have to do that in order to work, and this one just doesn't.